G'day everyone, today is the 28th of September and I'm in Barnawartha, which is a couple of hours outside of Melbourne, and well, it's because I'm heading to Sydney again. I'm heading up there for the NMRA convention, Transport Heritage New South Wales' Expo, the Taranaki Oberon 100-year anniversary, and as well as that I'm going to visit a few model railways and of course chase some big trains. So, it's just gone past 9 AM. Oh, I should point out all those will be separate videos, and of course, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with them. Anyway, this morning I'm in Barnawartha and I've just caught a SCT going off to Sydney. It's moving very slowly, but I've managed to be stuck behind it nearly the entire way from Melbourne. I know that just up the line here towards Albury, which is in New South Wales, there is an occupation as they are starting work, or have started work on the Inland Rail project, which is a whole video I could make on its own. But yeah, so they're moving very slow. I also passed just back, maybe 10 or 15 Ks back, there is a cube steel train waiting. Well, it's not moving, so I don't know what's going on with that. It's also got one of the new QL locos on it with the Indigenous art, so that's a pretty good get. But hopefully, well, I'm gonna keep moving along because the SCT is going really slow, so hopefully I can get a second shot of it on the correct side of the sun. I realized I've pulled up in the wrong spot as I've not been here before. Anyway, it's going to be a long drive. We're going to take the Olympic Highway up. So we're going to go up to Wagga Wagga, Junee, Cootamundra, Harden. We'll see how we go with the light as daylight saving starts in, I think, 2 days from when I film this. So yeah, I guess we'll see. And we're going to end up in Tahmoor tonight. So Tahmoor's just out of Sydney. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's go chase some trains. Alright, it's now a little bit past 10:30 and I am in New South Wales in a town called The Rock, which is named after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. No, not really. There's a big mountain out the other side of the town which is a big rock and they called it The Rock. Anyway, there is a line here that diverges off into New South Wales where there are grain loading facilities. So when I pulled in, I noticed that there was some of an SSR grain rake here as well as a few locomotives. A couple of RLs and a 1200 class, something I don't really get to see very often. Cool. I know the rest of that train is, I actually can't remember the name of the town, but I don't know when they're coming back. But anyway, I didn't end up stopping or getting ahead of the SCT because it pulled into the SCT loading facility, which is a regional intermodal, just south of Albury, which is why it was going so slow. So that was my mistake. Anyway, I did notice that we've got a lot of green signals coming through here, so I assume that the steel train, the empty steel train that I'd seen earlier this morning is on the way. So I'm going to park up here at the Rock for a little bit and wait for it. Now, the reason I didn't wait back in Victoria is because I do want to get as far into New South Wales as I can, because you usually get a lot more rail action once we get past Wagga Wagga towards Junee and Cootamundra. So we'll wait here, we'll wait for the steel train, and then we'll move up to Wagga Wagga and see what's there. Beautiful day, beautiful spring day. Looks like we're in for an absolute treat. All right, let's wait for this steel train. So while I was sitting here waiting for this train, I had a quick Google on the 1200 class because it's not one that I'm that familiar with. There's only two of them in Australia, and they were built in Mount Vernon in Illinois in the States and shipped out here. So that's a pretty interesting one. Pretty good get. Yeah, anyway, once again, wait for this grain train. No, steel train. Wait for this steel train. Beautiful. All right, like everything rail fanning, something was bound to go wrong. Well, not wrong. So there is a steel train empty coming from Melbourne, and there's a steel train coming from Sydney, or I guess Port Kembla, coming the other way. ARTC just pulled up and told me that the one from Melbourne is going into the siding at Urine Creek, which I hope I'm saying right. Once again, if you aren't new here, you'll know that I'll inevitably mispronounce most of the station and town names in New South Wales. But yeah, so the fully laden one from Sydney is going to come through first. So I've had to quickly dart across to the station here, just because I don't really have a good amount of time to relocate properly. Anyway, we're going to get the Sydney one first, and then, well, we'll see what happens with the one that's come from Melbourne. It's all part of the excitement, and of course, it is warming up out here, so I did see the old danger noodle. It's only a baby one, but something to be aware of. Anyway, back to waiting for this steel train. So there we go, that came absolutely barreling through. And now the lights have already changed down the end of the platform to say that the other one's coming. So I'm gonna go back to where I was, and we'll get this, and then we'll go. Wonderful. All right, bit of an update. It's nearly 1 o'clock. I decided to leave the Rock because the lights went red, and nothing was happening. Now, I've gone through Wagga, past Broman, where there was a freight train loading, but there wasn't much happening. So I'm on the way to Cootamundra, and I've stopped in Junee before. You've probably seen it a couple of times in the videos, and I wasn't planning on getting out, but there is an MZ parked up here. They are one of my favorite locomotives. They are a bit of an enigma on the Australian railways. They are imported they were Danish, and now they're here, and I think they're great. They're ugly and they're real silly looking. But there we go, got one. It's sitting with the 44, and I think a CLP sitting up the front. So yeah, that's a good little catch there that I didn't know I was gonna get. But we're gonna keep moving because I wanna get a bit closer to Sydney. A bit closer to Sydney. Anyway, we'll keep moving on. All right, even though I said I wasn't gonna stop in Junee, I did notice the GMs here, as well as these CMs, and then yeah, Casper is down in the yard moving around. I have no idea when these are due out, so I thought I'd just drop in for a photo, and now I'm gonna go to Cootamundra. Pretty good. All right, it's about 1:45, just outside of Cootamundra. Now, I've covered Cootamundra a couple of times, so I'm going to make a detour in the wrong direction to Stockinbingal, which is about 20 minutes from here, because I hear the Lachlan Valley Railway and Vintage Rail Journeys Southern Aurora set is at Stockinbingal. So I'm going to head up there, and I don't know if we're going to catch any of it moving, but at least we'll go check it out. So it's a pretty exciting day, pretty good so far. A beautiful day for it. This is the best. I highly recommend driving to Sydney rather than flying. It's much more exciting, especially if you're a rail fan. How good is that? Talk about perfect timing. I'd heard that they were here. They were running about 2 hours behind. So yeah, booted across the Stockinbingal. When I got here, they had to wait for a steel train that had come out of Whyalla in South Australia to pass it. I then managed to have enough time to eat my lunch, and they've had to manually switch out the points, and then now they're off. They're just waiting for the, I guess, the firemen to get back to the locomotive, and they will continue on their way. So that tour is run by Lachlan Valley Railway and Vintage Rail Journey. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to find out more about them, because they do run quite a few tours around New South Wales using the old former Southern Aurora sleeping cars and sitting cars and buffet cars. What a fantastic thing. You had a 47 up the front, the 44 and a 421, all in beautiful New South Wales livery, and of course the 421 in reverse. So yeah, now we're going to head from Stockinbingal, which, like I said earlier, is 20 minutes out of the way, the wrong way to where we're going. We're going to cut across the top here, and we're going to meet back up with the Olympic Highway at Harden, and hopefully maybe catch that steel train that I saw this morning, or maybe something will come out of Cootamundra. Who knows? But let's get back on the road. What a fantastic thing. That's excellent, excellent thing. All right, so it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. We're at Harden. Managed to catch the steel train that we got at Stockinbingal. I saw it as the road rejoined the railway. I could see it, so luckily, with a couple of minutes to spare, managed to beat it here to Harden. Anyway, I'm now going to get some fuel. Then I got a message from a mate who said that an SSR grain train has left Cootamundra and is on the way. So I get some fuel, go up the road here somewhere, try and get a... Well, unfortunately, all the trains coming this way, the sun is behind us, which isn't ideal for photos and videos, but I think you should always document your photos and videos anyway, because one day they could be, I don't know, historically significant. You never know. Anyway, get some fuel, move up the road, SSR grain train coming. I believe there's a C-class on the front, so yeah, we're getting some pretty good trains today, which I'm absolutely stoked on. So anyway, let's go do that. Let's get back in the car and move on. All right, it's 4:45 now and I am in Gunning. The reason I'm here is because I thought I'd try and get ahead of this SSR grain. In fact, I've actually got ahead of the Melbourne bound XPT, which I didn't think was going to happen. I noticed it going through Yass Junction, so I thought I'd try and get ahead. It looks like I have. Having said that, as I came off the freeway, there is a Pacific National bound, or Melbourne bound Pacific National freighter. So I should get across here, which is excellent. Yeah, so we'll get them, and then, well, we'll see what's next. So now that we've only got about an hour's worth of sunlight left, I'm going to keep moving along. I'm going to go to, I think, Marulan, somewhere in that Southern Highlands area, just because then I'm closer to where I'm going, and hopefully the frequency of trains through there is a lot higher. So, although we've had a pretty good run today, and yeah, hopefully get out there, get some more. I don't know if we'll get this SSR grain, unless I wanted to plant myself here for potentially a long time, which I don't, because we're losing the light. And yeah, so all right, move one step closer to Sydney. Let's go. So we're here at Marulan. As I pulled in, I have no idea. I've never been here before, so I don't know the area very well. So I pulled into this road that said it would go across the road, but it doesn't. I saw a train coming. I think it was two RLs, which was an SSR grain train. And then as the camera panned around, the XPT, which I somehow got in front of again, came the other way, except the lens decided to focus on the bush in front of it. Oh, can't win them all. I guess that's not bad. We'll go to Tahmoor. I think we'll just move along, wrap it up, because the sun's nearly gone. Pretty good day though. Excellent day. Wonderful. Good morning. So last night I got into Tahmoor at about just after 7 p.m, which made it about a 13-hour day driving. But of course there was lots of breaks and there was lots of things happening. So it was actually quite an enjoyable drive. Now this morning it's about 7:30 and I'm in between Bargo, which is towards Sydney, and behind me is like Moss Vale. So I thought I'd pick back up this morning just to fill you in on a few things before I leave the video. So there is obviously a reason I'm up here, and I'll give you a sneak preview of what that is now. So you've got all that to look forward to. So this morning I've got about an hour to kill before I have to be at my first layout. So I'm going to park myself up here because we've got a beautiful sweeping curve going both ways, and we'll see what trains we get. So and I'll leave you with that. So thank you so much for watching, and of course if you want to see more videos like this, let me know, or any feedback is much appreciated. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Hooroo.